All right, so we've told you about this third-party quest to find an alternative to what's out there, particularly the Republican push to find anyone who could be an alternative to Donald Trump. Now, it's kind of fitted out a little bit, but the third-party alternative is out there through the Libertarian Party. That Libertarian Party is on all 50 state ballots. Right now, we've told you about Gary Johnson, the former New Mexico governor, of course, the former Republican presidential candidate, who hopes to be that Libertarian nominee, and the man who very likely could be his running mate in that event, the former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld, who could be joining Gary Johnson's ticket. Governor, good to see you.
Thank you, Neil. Always a pleasure.
How was this decided?
You know, it came up rather recently. They were calling possible presidential candidates, and I said, yeah, I'll take a call. I like Gary Johnson. We served together. We knew each other favorably. And I took
Were
a call.
you governors at the same time?
Yeah, we overlapped.
Okay.
I've known Gary for a long time.
Okay.
I remember him mainly as the Ironman triathlete. He's an unbelievable physical specimen. He has a lot of Teddy Roosevelt.
So this was all before the pot thing and everything?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But how does it work, Governor? Did he ask you? It's a little different with the Libertarian Party. They separately decide or reach out.
Oh, no, I still have to sing for my supper next weekend.
Right.
We both have to sing for our supper.
Right, it's not a gimmick.
Or else this is, you know.
The convention decides it, right, Governor?
And it's like 1,000 superdelegates. Nobody's bound to anything. So Libertarian, what would you expect?
So this is unusual with this early, right? They decide on the two who are going to be the ticket.
Right. I mean, we need that. We need a little time to create a perception out there that we could be at 10 or 15%, and that gets us into the presidential debates. I noticed Fox had Governor Johnson at 10 in a little poll last night. That's without any Bill Weld in it.
No, now it's easily 20.
Without the benefit of well, I think a unified campaign is going to be a benefit here. I did that in Massachusetts. I ran with Paul Cellucci as my lieutenant governor.
I remember very well.
Yeah, and we both went on to be governors and governed as one. You know, you might not get two for the price of one, but you get two for the price of two.
But it would be a substantive ticket. I wonder with all this search of the Mitt Romneys and others, also the former governor of your fine state of Massachusetts, that maybe they've been looking around and it's right beneath their noses in the Libertarian ticket.
Well, this ticket hasn't existed until this week and won't exist technically until next week.
But the Libertarian Party, getting on all 50, it's already there. That's a gimmick.
But it may make it a little bit more comfortable having two-term governors, you know, who both economically conservative and cut taxes a lot and governed in blue states and both social liberals. So we've got, you know, half what the Republicans have, economic and fiscal conservatism, and half what the Democrats have, which is social tolerance and, you know, freedom and moderation.
Yeah, the challenge would be getting, again, to 10% of poll numbers, so you can debate, and that was always a conundrum for Gary Johnson last time. You know, I was talking to you, I wasn't blowing you smoke, Governor, and I think we've chatted about this before. I believe your debates, your Senate debates with Senator Kerry at the time, John Kerry, now Secretary of State Kerry, that's the stuff of Lincoln Douglas right there.
Well, if we get into the presidential debates, I hope you'd see a lot more of that.
But I mean, you think about it, that was at a time when there were no personal invectives, no nasty comments, but it was very back and forth, back and forth.
And it was good for the country because it clarified a lot of issues. And, you know, Governor Johnson, I think it'd be good for the country if we can get up there and clarify the issues and say, well, maybe we shouldn't round up 11 million people whose papers are not in order, you know, and in the middle of the night. Maybe they're already scared stiff.
And then how would you respond to the Hillary Clinton presence? How would you find an alternative to her? If you say that Donald Trump's ideas are a bit extreme, how do you separate yourself from a Hillary Clinton?
We would say it's very important not to spend money that you don't have and that you didn't raise, and that you know, the national debt is going to be $2 trillion when President Obama leaves office. And on the Democratic side, I think there's a long list of applicants for more federal funds. We just can't do that. If we you know, keep spending money that we don't have, we will hollow out our economy. And we'll put ourselves at an enormous substantive disadvantage internationally.
It's always been a tough sell, Governor, right? It's always been a tough sell.
It's a tough sell if you have no discipline, you know. But you get to late-stage democracy, and there's a cry for more, more, more. In Rome, they called that bread and circuses. It was the end of Rome as a democratic republic.
But gimmies and benefits and goodies,
that's right.
they
can't do it.
They poll well, though. People like that.
Okay, but if people don't want to hear an economically and fiscally conservative message, they won't. I think there's enough people. Basically, I think this is a reasonably conservative, reasonably reasonable country, and people understand that you can't have the federal government doing what no family can do at home.
A lot of people say libertarians drive them nuts because if there are liberal libertarians and conservative libertarians, then libertarians must be all over the map. Isn't your position government butt out, and if that applies to social issues, so be it?
Yeah, my speech at the Republican convention in Houston in 1992 was, quote, I want the government out of your pocketbook and out of your bedroom, close quote. That's a pretty concise statement of my political philosophy and pretty unmistakable.
Yeah, you got booed for some of those comments.
I did. All the Pat Buchanan people in the front row.
They hated you. All right, so you think there'll be an appetite among, let's say, the Republican so-called establishment types, Governor, who are looking for an alternative to Donald Trump? Might they wince at what you're saying and what Governor Johnson is saying?
I don't think they would wince at all. And it's possible that the millennials who you associate with Bernie Sanders on the other side of the aisle wouldn't wince either. There's been some polling indicating that we might do quite well with millennials if they're not still with
What's
Senator
crucial
Sanders.
is seeing you on that stage. Without it, you're like a tree in the forest.
That's right. If we can't claw our way to 10 or 15%, we're not going to claw our way to 30%. I mean, we'll campaign hard in Western states. You know, Governor Johnson's a real Westerner, and we're both real outdoorsmen. And some northern.
We'd have two Teddy Roosevelts.
Yeah, well, no, I can't lay that claim. That's him.
Yeah.
And northern New England, I think, might be a possibility for us. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, maybe Massachusetts. Reagan carried it twice. So we'll try to pick up a few states, even if we're not in the debates, just by focusing on small states.
All right, well, I have you here real quickly. Donald Trump, what do you make of the fact that now he's leading in polls and could be the next president?
Oh, I think he's going to be the nominee, and I give him a lot of credit for doing what he's done. I didn't jump on the bandwagon to say, you know, stop the Donald. In Massachusetts, he had quite a following.
It's only 20,000 switch parties.
Yeah, no, and I know a lot of the business owners who support him, and they like him a lot. I think that's
Do you think he's dangerous?
Tone. Well, I think the immigration proposal is hugely dangerous. The sanctions on China, the treatment of Mexico, a lot of the international relations suggestions, nuclear weapons in Japan, nuclear weapons in South Korea. My favorite heads of state abroad are Putin in Russia and Kim in North Korea. Kim in North Korea is practically aiming nuclear weapons at New York. I mean, give me a break.
So Vice President Weld or President Johnson wouldn't talk to Kim?
Well, certainly wouldn't say he was our second favorite foreign leader.
Okay, very good. Governor Weld, very good to see you.
Thank you, Neil.
Best of luck on this. Monitor that. And to his point, you really don't get the chance if you don't get the poll numbers to have a chance and speak for the American people.